Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode of Bad Beast Barbecue. Hey, today we're going to be cooking on the A-Smoke. I wanted to be cooking on my Kamado Joe or my PBC today, but my backyard is covered with a sheet of ice. Even though it's 45 degrees today, my backyard doesn't get a whole lot of sun this time of year. So I didn't want to be slipping and sliding and trying to set up the Kamado Joe or the PBC back on the patio. Okay, so we're gonna be using the A-Smoke, and I know a lot of you guys have some issues with the A-Smoke as far as temperature fluctuation. Mine fluctuates to 20 to 30 degrees, just depending on the weather conditions and the wind and those type of things. Okay, so but the food does come off the A-Smoke pretty good, so we're gonna go ahead and use that today. What we're gonna be cooking is we got a slab of St. Louis spare ribs, and we removed the membrane, we cleaned them up, and we cut the slab into individual ribs. All right, they've been marinating overnight in Tony's jalapeno and butter injection, and so the best thing about separating your ribs, even though it's a little bit more of a tedious task to smoke these because you got to work with each individual rib instead of one entire slab, is that when you season these ribs and put them on the smoker, you get more bark around the entire rib instead of just on the top and the bottom. Okay, and we're also going to be testing to see how well the Tony's jalapeno and butter injection work as a marinade. Okay, they've been marinating for over 8 hours overnight, and so we're about ready to get them prepped and get them on the smoker. So let's go ahead and get these bad boys set up and get them in the smoke. All right, guys, so here are our ribs. And as you can see, we separated them like I mentioned earlier. We split them into individual ribs. And I put them in a vacuum seal pack. So you don't have to use a vacuum seal pack. You can use a Ziploc bag. I didn't vacuum all the air out of it because I wanted to give some space for the marinade to flow. But like I said, these have been in the refrigerator like this for over 8 hours. So we're going to go ahead and get these prepped up. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove them from the package and get them in this pan. And try not to get too much marinade in the pan because I'm going to dab some of that off. All right, guys, so we're going to get our ribs laid out here. And we're going to try to dab as much of this seasoning off as we can. I'm going to have to get a separate pan, I see, to lay those out. So I'll be right back. All right, guys, so we got another pan here. I'm just going to try to get some of the excess marinade off of these ribs. I don't want them too wet. Okay, so all of the excess marinade has been removed from our ribs, and now we're going to hit them with one of my favorite rubs. We're just going to do a little simple SPG rub on these, and I love this McCormick's rub, and that's what we're going to put on because we just want a simple addition of salt, pepper, and garlic, and to try to be able to taste the butter and jalapeno injection. So normally I would use a heavy rub on these. That way we can definitely experience the bark, but we're going simple because I want to be able to test out and see how well the jalapeno and butter injection worked as a marinade. All right, we're gonna let these sit here only for a few minutes and we're gonna get them on the A-Smoke. All right, guys, so we got our A-Smoke set at 225. It's at 230 right now. So we're gonna go ahead and get these on here. I do have a cooking mesh on, so, and I'm just trying not to get into the shadow, cast my shadow over the A-Smoke so you guys can see it. And hopefully we can get all of our ribs on here. And I'm gonna put these bones side down and put the bottom ones on a slant to try to get as many on here as we can. We may have to put the top rack on also. All right, we're gonna go ahead and close it up and we'll come back and check it in about an hour and a half. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and check these. These have been on for an hour and 30 minutes. Oh, they're looking pretty good. They're looking pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and flip them over at this time. Let them get some even cooking. And we're gonna continue to maintain a 225-degree temperature, cooking temperature. And then we'll let these go for another hour and a half, which will give us a total cook time of 3 hours. And then at that time, we will temp them. All right, back in the smoke. All right, guys, so our ribs have been on for a total of 3 hours now. I'm going to take a look at them, give you a close-up look. All right, guys, you can see they got some great color on these. We used the RegTech Ultimate Blend pellets in the A-Smoke today. Got some good bone pullback in a couple of areas. We're going to temp out one or two of them just to see what we got. 168 in that one. 163. And since pork is safe to eat at 145, some of these at 180. So we're going to go ahead and pull these bad boys off, let them rest for a minute, and then we're going to go ahead and have a taste test. So let's get them off. All right, guys, so we're finished with our cook. We're going to go ahead and have our taste test. Isn't that a great looking rib? See the bark all the way around instead of just having those fleshy parts on the side. It's going to give an extra uh, layer of texture and an extra layer of flavor, okay? Got some great bone pullback. I don't know if you can see that, but I love the way that the McCormick's SPG sits on the rib. Some great big pieces of seasoning. So we're going to go ahead and check this out. Smells fantastic. So, all right, let's go ahead and have a taste. The rib is really cooked well. The rib bit away from the bone without pulling all the way off of the bone. So we pull these somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 and between 160 and 170 degrees. Some of them had even tempted up to above 180. But when you're dealing with individual ribs, then the different size of the ribs will dictate the internal temperature. But as long as they're over 145 degrees and tender, and they were probe tender when we used our probe to stick inside of them, then I think you'll be okay. As far as the marinade goes, I can't taste very much of the jalapeno and butter, so the injection didn't work as well as a marinade, I guess, as it would have if I had sat there and individually injected the ribs. But the SPG from McCormick is really good. It may be on the edge of being a little salty, so I should have backed off of the seasoning a little bit, and maybe some of the salt is coming from the injection itself. But these are really good. I'm really going to enjoy these. Let me have another bite of this. And like I say, man, it pulled away from the bone nice and clean, but didn't pull the entire meat off the bone. So that's a really well cooked rib. Also, separating those ribs means that they didn't depend on the rest of the ribs as one piece of meat to become tender. It cooked a lot faster as individually smoked ribs. So normally a slab of ribs would take anywhere from 4.5 to maybe 5 hours, depending on your cooker and what temperature you're cooking them at. But these here, they cooked in 3 hours, so you cannot beat that. So great rib. Looking forward to finishing these off the rest of the week, taking these to work for lunch, okay? Well, that's about it. Hey, I'll put a link down in the description block if you guys are interested in getting you some of that McCormick SPG. And you can pick up that Tony's jalapeno and butter injector at mostly any grocery store. So, but I didn't see where it added much jalapeno flavor to the rib. So that's kind of a disappointment. So you can cook these on any smoker. Like I said, I want to do these on the Kamado Joe or the PBC. but my environment in the backyard dictated otherwise, so we were resigned to using the asmoke today. Okay. Well, that's all we have time for today. Hey, if you guys are interested in getting some Bad Beast Barbecue merchandise, hey, check out www.badbeastbarbecue.com. Okay. Hey, we're also getting into laser engraving, cutting boards. You know, barbecue season's coming around, even though barbecue season is year round for me. But if you're interested in getting a custom cutting board, something with your logo on it, Father's Day is coming up in June. So if you want to get old dad something to go along with his barbecuing accessories, consider a custom board. Check us out. You can email me at preciousengravings at gmail.com, or check out our Etsy page also. Okay, and I'll put those links down in the description box. Well, like we always say, where there's smoke, there's fire. If it's fire, then damn it, there just might be a barbecue there. Hey, as always, hey, we'll see you guys around the smoker. Yeah, some good stuff though. Woo. Catch you guys in the next video.